Minister, when I last raised the issue of the N6 Galway City Ring Road with you under leaders' questions on May 25, 2021, I highlighted the plight of the 54 families and individuals who are to lose their homes to make way for the road. I saw the commitment from you that once a decision was made by An Bord Pleanála to go ahead with the project, top priority would be given to put a scheme in place without delay, regardless of any subsequent legal or judicial challenges, to enter into negotiations with any of the householders affected by this who wish to sell and move on but are caught in limbo. Minister, not all householders want to sell. Some are willing to wait until the whole process is complete. You express sympathy for the plight of these people whose lives have been put on hold for the past 7 years or so, since the preferred route for the current ring road plan was published back in 2015. Since then, the owners of 44 homes which are to be demolished and a further 10 homes that are to be bought out to facilitate the Ring Road project have been caught in limbo situation. They cannot sell a house that was penciled for demolition, which meant that neither could they move on with their lives and set up a new home elsewhere. Minister, you promised that, subject to a decision of the approval, you would encourage Galway County Council through its negotiation strategy to assist these householders who have been affected, and I quote from your response: I understand that Galway County Council has already set up and advanced the negotiation strategy for the road project. All affected householders are invited to participate. I encourage Galway County Council, and we will do everything we can in this regard to assist these householders who have been affected. Well, now the decision in favour of the Galway City Ring Road has been made by An Bord Pleanála, and while 3 High Court actions have been taken challenging this decision, we cannot leave these homeowners linger on in limbo for years. With the last proposal, it was a total of 14 years. They deserve to be allowed to try and move on with their lives, and the time for that is now. Minister, my question to you is, will you put a scheme in place to facilitate the householders who want to sell and move on, and not leave them hanging on for years and years to come while the legal challenges are taking place?
Thank you, Deputy Grealish. And you have, on this issue, both privately and publicly within the Dáil, you've been raising consistently with me over the last 2 years. A very valid concern you raise for those 54 families that are in a very difficult position. I absolutely understand and see the argument and the case you're making on their behalf. And this is a controversial project which is long delayed, like a lot of other transport projects in our country, but one's been particularly sensitive in habitat issues, now in climate issues, and there are I think 3 cases have been taken, 3 cases for judicial review, both from a variety of different interests in regard to local property interests, as well as the climate issue regarding the particular project, as I understand. It's not possible to take the course that you're saying, because the High Court have issued a stay against any such actions by Galway City Council. So by the order of the court, it isn't possible to progress with what one would presume would be looking at a CPO system that is in place, and that's a High Court decision. We're all subject to those, and that will have to work itself out. That process has to be allowed take its course. And I think in the interim, what I would be encouraging is the Council, as I said to you previously, that the Council still engage with the householders. So subject to those issues being resolved, that they can act quickly. It's not a significant sum. It's for the householders, it's a hugely important issue. I think their engagement with the Council at least may shorten the process, depending on what the final outcome would be. But we cannot ignore an order of the High Court. That wouldn't be appropriate or right. And I think we have to await the outcome of that. And also, there's have to be wider. The project still has to go through a business case to be prepared and presented to government. Our process for assessing projects is very long, is very drawn out, in need of reform. I think we would all agree, in need of shortening. The whole issue of planning concerns and consents need to be reformed. The Attorney-General is doing that. It's important we retain, in my mind, central to it, protection for the environment, to support the rights of those who want to do that, but also protect the ability for people to develop and for the state to be able to act in introducing infrastructure. We have to get the balance right. Our current systems are not fit for purpose. Our current planning laws are not working well. That's why the Attorney General is engaged in a major reform that won't help these particular householders out of a difficult position that they're in. But anything we can do, we will. But it has to be within the law.
Minister, I have to say I'm very disappointed in your response, and it's not for me to be disappointed, but it's the 44 householders that's caught up in this. This legal challenge could go on for years. Like the last time it went on for over 7.5 years. There was 8 householders caught in the previous project. This has gone on for over 22 years. So are you telling me now, Minister, that these 44 householders have to sit and wait until a judicial review has taken place before they can sell a house? A lot of these people are moving on in years. They want to downsize. They want to leave a bit of money to their children or grandchildren, but they cannot sell the one biggest asset that they have. So you were telling them to sit at home and sit there and wait until this whole process has been complete. Well, Minister, I will not accept that. That is wrong. That is not fair on the 44 householders. I don't think anybody in this House would like to be affected by that, where you cannot sell your property on the open market because simply nobody will buy it due to a decision by the state, which is the state or your department. They want to put a ring road around Galway. So, Minister, please, I would ask, will you intervene, you personally, and deal with TI and bring some scheme forward that will give a bit of comfort to these householders that want to sell and move on?
It's not my intention to push this scheme through in this way, but we do have to follow the law that protects all our people in the long run. If we start ignoring orders of the High Court, we would have, yes we do, but and as I said to you, we're engaged in a process where we're looking at how we reform the law, and I think that is probably one of the most important projects that we have to do now for the sake of everyone in our country. But that does take a certain period of time. That process of work won't be concluded until the end of this year, and any new planning legislation would take time to go through this House before it would then be in the law. In the interim, we have to do everything we can to help any householder who's caught, as these households are, in a very unfortunate situation. As I said, I would encourage Galway Council to engage with them, so at least they have an idea of that, subject to other matters being resolved, that what the final outcome would be. But in the interim, they are caught in a difficult situation, and I fully accept your point that for them that is particularly difficult and troublesome.
Moving on to the